Janet stared at the email notification on her phone. Another late-night message from her boss. She closed her eyes and took a breath. But instead of opening the email, she opened her bank account. The numbers hadn't changed. Still not enough to feel secure. Still dependent on one income source that could disappear with a single restructuring announcement. She'd heard the stories. Coworkers laid off after 15 years, friends watching their departments dissolve overnight. And every time she heard those stories, she felt the same knot in her stomach. What she needed was a backup plan, something that could bring in money without jeopardizing her current position. But every option seemed designed for people with more time, more energy, or more risk tolerance than she had. The problem wasn't motivation. Janet was willing to work. The problem was finding something that fit into the margins of an already full life. Her job demanded 40-plus hours a week. She had responsibilities at home, and most side hustles she'd researched required either a massive time investment up front, specialized skills she didn't have, or the kind of public visibility that made her nervous about conflicts with her employment contract. Then one Thursday evening, while mindlessly scrolling through social media during her commute, she saw a post from someone she vaguely knew from college. The post showed a screenshot of monthly earnings. Not life-changing money, but not trivial either. Around $800. The caption read something about digital templates and passive income. Janet almost scrolled past. She'd seen these posts before, usually attached to some pyramid scheme or crypto pump. But this one felt different. The person wasn't pitching anything, just sharing. She clicked through to the profile and found more posts detailing the journey, creating budget spreadsheets, selling them on Etsy, reinvesting the profits into more templates. What caught Janet's attention wasn't the money, it was the timeline. This person had created their first template on a Sunday afternoon. The whole thing took 3 hours. They used free tools, no special software, no coding, no audience required beforehand. Digital products like templates and printables need one-time creation but can sell repeatedly. And suddenly, Janet saw something she'd missed in all her previous research. She'd been looking for active income disguised as passive income. Tutoring required showing up at specific times. Freelance writing meant deadlines and clients. Food delivery meant wearing out her car. But templates? Templates could sell while she slept. Still, doubt crept in fast. Everyone probably had this idea already. The market was probably saturated. She didn't consider herself creative. Her spreadsheet skills were functional at best. Who would buy something she made? But that doubt also revealed something. She was already making spreadsheets. At work, she'd built a project tracker that her entire team used. She'd created a personal budget template that 3 friends had asked her to share. She'd organized her daughter's school activities in a planner that other parents constantly complimented. None of it felt special because it came easily to her. That's how most people miss their own value, by assuming the things that feel simple to them must be simple for everyone. Janet decided to test the idea with the lowest possible stakes. She wouldn't quit anything, wouldn't tell anyone, wouldn't invest money she couldn't afford to lose. She'd spend one weekend creating something, list it, and see what happened. Saturday morning, she opened Canva, a free design tool she'd heard mentioned in several videos. The interface was surprisingly intuitive. She chose to create something she wished existed when she'd started budgeting years ago, a monthly budget planner with sections for tracking bills, savings goals, and discretionary spending. Nothing fancy, just clean, functional, and easy to use. By Sunday evening, she had her first product, a 5-page PDF template. She uploaded it to Etsy with a simple description, priced it at $7.99, and braced for nothing to happen. 3 days later, someone in Australia bought it. Janet checked her email twice to make sure it wasn't spam, but it was real. $8 minus Etsy's fees. Her first sale from something she had created once that could now sell infinitely. The amount wasn't the point. The proof of concept was. She didn't stop with one template. Over the next 2 months, working an hour here and there, weekend mornings, the occasional evening after her daughter went to bed, Janet created 8 more templates: a meal planning sheet, a cleaning schedule, a goal-setting workbook, a weekly planner. Each one took between 2 and 4 hours to create. Each one cost her nothing except time. Platforms like Etsy and Gumroad report rising demand for digital planners and educational resources, and Janet's timing aligned with that trend without her even realizing it. By month 3, her templates were generating around $400 monthly. By month 6, that number had climbed past $700. The income wasn't replacing her salary, but it was doing something more important. It was creating breathing room. When her company announced a hiring freeze and budget cuts that winter, Janet felt the usual wave of anxiety, but underneath it was something new, a small voice reminding her that she had options. If she lost this job, she wouldn't be starting from zero. She had a skill set, a proven system, an income stream that existed independently of any employer's decisions. What surprised Janet most wasn't the money, it was the simplicity. Creating digital products takes considerable effort at the start, but once set up, can generate passive income continuously. She'd been searching for complicated solutions because she assumed anything worthwhile had to be difficult. But the best side income didn't require reinventing herself. It required recognizing what she already knew how to do and packaging it for people who needed it. She thought about all the time she had wasted feeling stuck, all the elaborate business plans she'd abandoned because they seemed too risky or too time-consuming. She'd been looking for permission or perfection, when what she needed was simply to start with something small, test it, and adjust based on results. The real shift happened when Janet stopped thinking about side income as a separate category of work and started seeing it as an extension of problems she'd already solved in her own life. Every template she created addressed something she'd personally struggled with. That authenticity made her products better because they solved real problems rather than trying to guess what might sell. By the end of her first year, Janet had 16 templates generating consistent sales. Her monthly income from this work ranged between $800 and $1,200. She'd learned to optimize her listings, understand seasonal demand, and create bundles that increased her average sale value. But more importantly, she'd learned that flexible, low-stress income was possible when you built it around skills you already had and structured it to work on your schedule. The lesson wasn't that everyone should sell digital templates. The lesson was that sustainable side income comes from identifying a specific problem you can solve, creating a solution once, and letting that solution work for you repeatedly. Templates, ebooks, and planners remain profitable in 2025 because people need them and they require minimal ongoing effort after initial creation. Janet never quit her job. She didn't have to. The side income removed the desperation from her employment equation. She negotiated better, she set boundaries, she made career decisions based on what she wanted rather than what she feared losing. If you're looking for the same kind of flexibility Janet found, the path is simpler than it appears. Start by listing 3 things you're already good at. Not exceptional, just competent. Then identify one recurring problem those skills could solve. Create one solution, a template, a guide, a resource, and put it where people who need it can find it. Price it fairly, let it sit, then create another. You don't need a large following. You don't need expensive tools. You don't need to quit anything. You need to recognize that the knowledge and skills you already have are valuable to someone who doesn't have them yet. The goal isn't overnight success. It's creating something that works for you while you sleep, while you're at your day job, while you're living your life. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you build income around your existing strengths, rather than trying to become someone you're not.